Welcome to America's Virtual Chamber of Commerce and Industry, AVCCI, powered by the American Business Podcast. My name is Kevin Devecioglu. I'm the founder of the American Business Podcast, ABP, and founder of America's Virtual Chamber of Commerce and Industry, AVCCI. AVCCI is a virtual America's Chamber of Commerce and Industry. Because it's virtual, you can connect AVCCI and AVCCI activities from anywhere. We are a national Chamber of Commerce and Industry to help American businesses grow their businesses, collaborate, connect, and educate their workforce. Our mission is simple at AVCCI. We are to promote, support, uplift, and connect American businesses, nonprofits, manufacturers, and the business community in this age of AI. One mission, unlimited locations, thanks to our virtual Chamber of Commerce model that's designed for these modern ages, business professional. When you go to avcci.us website of ours, you can learn more about AVCCI, our mission, as well as our events. We have more than 10 active committee meetings that takes place every month. And each committee is led by members of AVCCI. And each committee meets monthly. Committee meetings are complimentary. You don't have to be an AVCCI member to follow and join. Please go to avcci.us and go to events section. You'll see the list of committee meetings on the calendar, and you can sign up complimentary and join us. Each committee meeting is taking place virtually, and each committee meeting is being recorded and pushed to the American Business Podcast for further visibility and publicity opportunity. Thanks to the integration between the American Business Podcast and America's Virtual Chamber of Commerce and Industry, AVCCI. Now AVCCI is the only Chamber of Commerce that is virtual and powered by a successful business podcast network, that is the American Business Podcast. Support us, join us, and we are looking forward to welcoming you at AVCCI. Remember, AVCCI is inclusive. From solo entrepreneur to Fortune 500 company, there is something for every single business professional, executive, and business leader, as well as we are welcoming young professionals, those who are just entering their career, starting their career journey. We are welcoming everyone, every serious business professional and every serious American business and international business to America's Virtual Chamber of Commerce and Industry, also known as AVCCI, powered by the American Business Podcast. Please go to our website, avcci.us, learn more about AVCCI, go to events section, sign up our coming virtual complimentary committee meetings, and be a member. Support AVCCI. We are growing very fast, and we love to have you at AVCCI and help you grow your business in this age of AI. Thank you for your support.
Well, good morning and welcome, everyone. Thank you so much for being here. This is the first Leadership and Management Growth Committee meeting, and we are so happy you're here. Because this is our first gathering, this agenda will be a little bit different. It's part introduction, part leadership conversation, and part invitation. So we're really hope to build something together here. And this committee was created for leaders, business owners, entrepreneurs, managers, professionals, anyone who's really carrying responsibility and wants to grow with more intention. Our goal is not to add one more meeting to your calendar, but our goal is to create a practical monthly space for intentional growth. And our guiding phrase is practical leadership, real growth every month. And today we're going to start where all leadership starts, with ourselves. So before we go any further, I just want to quickly introduce myself, and then I'm going to hand it over to Joe. I'm Christine Daniels. I'm an executive coach, leadership development consultant, and leadership advisory. My background is I've spent about 25 years on Wall Street in corporate, entrepreneurs, VC, startups, you name it, I've done it. And today, much of my work is really around helping people lead themselves and others with greater clarity, confidence, alignment, and intentionality. And what I really love about this committee, and I love what Kevin has created, is just this gives us a space to talk about leadership that is, practical, honest, and applicable. So before we get going into our leadership discussion, I'd like to hand over to Joe to introduce himself, and then we'll do a quick, turn around here with the group that's joined us. Joe?
Well, good morning, everybody. I'm glad to be here. Kevin, thanks for inviting me in to be part of this committee. And Christine, thanks for joining me as a co-chair of the Leadership and Management Growth Committee. So I'm super passionate about personal growth, leadership growth. I kind of feel like it's all the same. You'll hear me say it probably a million times between now and if you keep showing up to these meetings, and that is that, you are the common denominator of every aspect of your life. And then a better you is a better everything. So I regularly see my clients applying what we're doing for work in their personal lives, and they're regularly telling me, "Hey, my marriage is better, my relationship with my kids is better, they're healthier, their own personal relationship with themselves is better." Like everything gets better because as I elevate myself, as any of us elevate ourselves, our entire life gets better. Probably one of the best pieces of marriage advice that I ever got a long time ago that I couldn't receive at the time. And the marriage advice pretty much went like this: Joe, it's all your fault. And I couldn't take it in at the time. I'm like, all my fault, but and I had all this this frustration. Like, don't you understand? Didn't you listen to me? Like, it's not, it's not all my fault. But I realized that there's freedom in that statement. It's all your fault. And that freedom is, if it's all your fault, you could fix it all. Right. And that's the great truth. It's like, wait a second, whatever is my fault, I can fix it, and if I can fix me, it will get better. And that's where we're at when it comes to our teams, our companies, our relationship with our employees, our customers, our family members. If we can elevate ourselves, we're going to elevate every single one of those relationships, and they're all going to get better. Right. So that's what we're here for, is we're here to just step it up. We know that historically speaking, over and over and over again, it's been shown that if you take two teams, you take a winning team and you take a losing team, and all you do is swap out the leaders of those two teams, that losing team becomes a winning team, right? Same members, same everything, same task, same everything except for the leader. And when the leader changes, everything changes. So we know that as we elevate ourselves, our performance is going to increase, our relationships are going to improve, our team's going to improve. And a lot of this stuff has been figured out already. Like the strategies to do it has already been figured out. Like somebody already knows how to do something and how to make it work right. And so Christine and I, our jobs for the last however many years has been studying and finding out those tips and tools and strategies and techniques required to make those things work right. And then we combine them together. And as needed, that's what we pass on to our clients. That's what we're going to be passing on to you guys. So for the three of you that joined, and Kevin, you too. So for the four of you that joined in and trusted us enough to take some time out of your day, this is going to be, I hope it's going to be a super valuable session. You're going to get, you get two coaches for the price of one. And really, like, if we were to do the same content, like we're giving you the same content that we're giving our clients, and in the same amount of time, it would not be, it's not included in a membership price type thing. Like we're giving you what we feel from our hearts is real value to help you guys elevate and escalate your lives. And so hopefully everybody takes that away, and we see next month and we can hear reports back that, business problems are solved, relationships are better, and, everything in your business and in your life is elevated because you've taken some of the practical tools that we're talking about here and you're implementing them. So my background is that back in 1995, which is getting further and further away, is when I started my role as a manager at a global telecom company, and that was trial by fire. I started the job. Everybody on my team started working for the company before I was born. And it was a union environment, and we had all kinds of changes to do. We were moving the office, we were changing technology. Windows 95 was a new thing back then. I think probably Anthony is one of the only ones that know, and Christine maybe, about when Windows was named Windows 95. Um, so, we were changing over from a system that that was an old, I don't know, DOS system or whatever into Windows 95 with a graphical user interface. Like the mouse was a new technology. Um, Anyway, so we're doing all those changes. We're changing location at the same time. And the other manager that was there with me had a heart attack. And so he was out within like 2 weeks of when I started. So here I am on my own, 24 years old, with a team of people that didn't have to listen to me at all, um, trying to manage all this change. And that helped me to become the leader that I am today, is leading through trial and leading by respect to a team that could have just waited around until I got terminated, right? If they all did nothing, somebody would have blamed me, and then I would have gotten fired or moved or whatever, and they could just go about their business. And so I had to lead with leadership, principles that helped the team see the vision and catch hold of it and say, wow, you know what? Joe's actually a good guy. Let's do this. Let's make this happen. And so it happened. So fast forward several years, I decided to start my own business, launch a seminar, have 3 people attend my seminar. That was an interesting seminar. I held it in New York City. Spent about $25,000 on promoting this event, and to have 3 people show up and I was one of those 3 people. So it was definitely a different thing. That was back in 2004. So I decided to switch gears, become a school teacher so I can pay my bills and take care of my family and add some value to the world. So I was a school teacher for many years. Then I found the Maxwell Leadership Team back in 2019. 2019, I decided to dump a chunk of money into Maxwell Leadership and take a whole bunch of courses and learn a whole bunch of new stuff, and get the support of the Maxwell Leadership Team, which Christine and I are both members of the Maxwell Leadership. They provide mentoring, they provide training, they provide materials, everything that you would need really to launch your career as a coach. They support it, but they don't lock you in. It's a lot of freedom. So, Chris, so the stuff that you're going to get today is a mixture of our own experiences plus stuff that we've gotten from John Maxwell, plus stuff that we've gotten from everybody else. And it's okay. They understand, hey, run with it. Just do with it, do the right thing with it. And so that was great to get that support. That was everything I was missing round one. And so I left teaching, and I've been doing this full time since 2019. During COVID, I took a little detour. I continued to do this for free for nonprofit organizations and friends and family. Um, but I worked for the contact tracing initiative. So that's what I did until January of 2021, when I started to get paid clients back again. So that brings us to today. And then I've been doing this coaching. I coach all kinds of businesses from small to several hundred employees. Um, and that's my sweet spot, is when there's multiple levels of leadership, because that's when you really need a good leadership development strategy to build all those leaders. Because the more leaders you have that are rowing in the same direction, the better your results are going to be. So my company motto is better leaders, better results. Pretty much bottom line, plain and simple. So that's what we're here for today, to help each of you guys elevate with good strategies, mindsets. If you think about it, there's really only 2 things that we're developing. We're developing your mindset, and we're developing your habit, right? You can do an action this week and you can get results. And if you stop doing it, you stop getting results. That's pretty much how it works. So if we can change your way of thinking, and if we can change habits, you will change pretty much everything in your life. And I'm going to try not to keep rambling. Actually, I'm just going to cut it right there. Go ahead, Christine.
Thanks, Joe. Christian, we'd love to learn about you. Think you're in New York, and what brought you here today, and talk about your business a little bit.
Sure. I'll give the short version. Anthony, Sam, you guys can go to sleep now if you guys want to take a nap. You've heard this before. So I actually commute back and forth every week between Canada and Mexico, also known as Detroit and Tampa.
Oh,
I commute every week back and forth. And so I'm originally from New York City. That's where the connection is. My unique story is probably a little bit different than most people that end up here. I was a New York City police officer. I completely destroyed my life through a series of terrible, very stupid decisions, which that's important. So hold that right there for a second. And landed myself in federal prison, had to rebuild my entire identity from scratch, had to figure out a whole new path in life. And now I have devoted myself to the field of decision intelligence because I have a very, very personal mission to help people make better decisions because I know the cost of bad ones. And so the realm that I live in is essentially the execution layer that sits between artificial intelligence, business intelligence, analytics, and human decision-making frameworks. So I'm not the coach. I am a terrible coach. I was in HR, operations, and every single time I did that, I realized I am not the builder of people. I am the builder of tools and systems. But I do that as a force multiplier for people on my team. So now that's what I do. I build either AI tools or deterministic and probabilistic analytical tools that help companies take a decision that they find themselves having to make often and systematizing it to say, okay, let's actually build something that helps you do this the way you do it with your inputs, your variables, and output the way that you imagine it. And so I work with a lot of people that actually do specialize in leadership and strategy and consulting, and they come in and they'll say, hey, I see the opportunity, I see the vision, you guys, this is what you need, this is where you can go. Okay, great. How do we do that? Well, I can give you the plan, but you're not a software developer, so you can maybe recommend go buy this tool or try this template or this framework. That's where I step in and say, I can build it for you. I can build it for you for your business to make the strategy and the plan that this person envisioned a reality for this company so they can use it over and over again to make better decisions.
wow.
And that's what brought me here today.
Great.
That's
Well, we're
awesome.
glad you're
Chris,
here.
that's
That's
that's a
awesome.
very inspiring story of turning your life around, which is amazing. And I know you have a book on this too, right? Isn't your book is the book named Decision Intelligence too?
No, so the book is titled Built in the Dark.
Or Built in the Dark?
Yeah, Built in the Dark, How Solitary Confinement Rewired My Brain and Excel Saved My Life. And because that's the other part of the story is if you've ever done any research or want to do some fun research, look to see what solitary confinement does to the human brain after just 3 to 6 months. And I spent 18 months in solitary confinement. And that was actually the inspiration for the AI part of things. Who's read Think and Grow Rich, like Napoleon Hill? Okay, so there's this really, really great visual, this scene where he describes a process where he would go to his library, close his eyes, and imagine that he had the great minds of his time sitting at a table with him, pressure testing his ideas, giving him counsel. And so I took that framework, that approach, and put it into AI. And so now I actually have a product that's the Stark Advisory Board. And I basically create deep research personas through the lens of psychological frameworks and create a team where you actually can have Steve Jobs, Jeff Bezos, Warren Buffett kind of like arguing with each other and working together to figure out the differences in their opinions to figure out how to answer your question and work on your team as an executive like advisory board, an AI supplemental board.
That's
Yeah.
pretty
Amazing. Yeah,
amazing.
exactly.
So yeah, so that's me. I'll pass it along now. We still got Anthony and Sam.
Sam, would you like to go?
Sure. So I'm Sam from Ally Tech Advisors. I'm also the marketing director. Anthony's our CEO and founder. Uh, I always say like, what don't we do? We're technology advisors. We're on Long Island, so we are in New York. And yeah, I'm just excited to see and get more tips and tricks about like leadership and management because I'm around we join a lot of C-level meetings often. So to get some insight on what they're looking for, so that way I can better provide for them and myself, I think will be insightful.
Thanks, Sam. Anthony.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I can't top Christian. I mean, that's like
I
amazing. You know,
I don't think any of us can.
yeah, it's just I've been doing this for an awful long time. I know I don't look that old, but at least 40 years. Basically, like Sam said, is that we're a technical advising firm first, hence the name, LI Tech Advisors. And then we have four divisions. One is standard the tools, the managed service provider stuff, custom software, compliance, and of course, business intelligence, AI. We've been doing, I mean, 40 years ago, whatever, I worked top secret work for the government, and I was working on AI back then with them. Government's always way ahead, but a couple of years ago, I pivoted the business and more into AI, and I told everybody in the business that they have to put their headset on, their mindset to AI, and we need to go ahead and start diving into it. So we automated a lot of our own processes where we have streamlined a lot of our own business, especially the MSP division, where we have we used to have an outside service that took care of like one of the delivery areas. It's now completely handled by a couple of bots. So now we've outsourced basically going out to prospects and clients now and offering up what we found that worked best for us to them. Worked with manufacturers. One manufacturer was saving between 5 and 10,000 a week. He was losing in fabrication process. So we're helping him with that right now. And we have attorney firms, accounting firms that we're helping automate now. And the attorney firm gave us an A+ on what we've done so far for him. He's like amazed, and he's throwing everything at it. He wants us to go. We can't keep up with him. He wants us to do so much more now for him. He's like bitten the AI apple, and he's just like he wants it more. It's exciting times right now, and even going like Sam said, we're going to a lot of like high level meetings, CEO meetings. One of the ones I just went to, which was eye opening to me, was one of the heads of NYU Langone Hospital says that they actually took the human out of the loop with reading radiology reports. And I'm like, they said that when the human is in the loop, it makes mistakes. When the human is out of the loop, radiology reports now are much more accurate. So they don't allow a human to interact with it anymore, and they just do the reports and whatever recommendations come out of it. I'm like, that's revolutionary. Okay, so I said, this is the way things are going. And that's pretty much us. So thank you.
Thank you.
So
Kevin. Oh, would you like to go as well?
No, I just want to ask a question. So Christian, are there people on your team that report to you? Like, do you have people that are under you that work for you? Just you.
So I have a split. I'm still serving as the director of business intelligence at a consulting firm out of Grand Rapids. So that's my, as my girl would say, my big boy job. That's the one that pays the salary and has the benefits currently, while I'm also growing the Stark brand. So Stark is just me. I have a couple of contractors that I work with, like, one handles the website and things like that, but no employees. It's just me. And right now I'm working on building the brand, which really, according to my AI board, should be based around me, the individual. It's Christian first, and I'm terrible at sales. So one of the things I'm doing to grow my brand right now is looking for speaking opportunities and opportunities to sit on panels and facilitate workshops and be able to kind of like share that story, which leads to a purpose and leads to what I do and opens that door versus, shotgun blasting, cold email or Google ads, because that doesn't quite seem to work for people like me.
Yeah.
So yeah, just me.
Gotcha. All right. Well, listen, there's always leadership is not about having people necessarily report to you, right? So title-based leadership is what we call the lowest level of leadership. But you have an influence over your vendors, your customers, those audiences that you'll be speaking in front of. So being that influential leader, people follow leaders, they buy into you first. And so as you demonstrate good leadership skills, even in your speaking engagements to a room full of strangers, they'll be like, oh, wow, that's Christian's a good dude and he's got something good to say, and I'm going to be better off following him than following myself. So that's ultimately, if you've got a good vision and you're going in the right direction, you've got a good strategy to get there, you want people on board with going there with you. So leadership will help you out in that too. Before you jump on a stage in front of people, speak to Christine or myself about, public speaking, and we'll help you be more effective in that role, so you don't get out there and make the same mistakes that maybe Christine didn't make them, but I certainly
Oh
did.
no, I've certainly made them as well.
Yeah. I have a speaker coach that is based out of Lakeland, Florida. He does professional speaking for a living, multiple time, TEDx and things like that.
Good.
So it's interesting. We're all learning something new, or hopefully learning something new every single day, and getting better and refining our craft. The most humbling experience is to look back at some of the work that you cranked out, whether it be documents, videos, presentations, anything, contracts that you did 2-3 years ago, and you're just gonna shake your head like, oh my God, like I was doing that. I said that, I wrote that thing, like, oh, like I wouldn't do that now. So it's getting
One of
better.
John Maxwell's many teachings, he's always talking about like his first book or his first speech. He's like, it's never going to be good. They're never good the first or even second or third or fourth time. But the idea is that each time you get a little bit better because you go back and reflect and learn. And it's also just like a whole journey, right? As you're kind of, building out who you are, how you want to show up. And, to Joe's point, like, we're all leaders, right? Whether or not we have, people reporting to us, leadership is influence, and it's really nothing more than that. And we can't lead others further than we've led ourselves. So that personal growth journey is like leadership's not done in a day. It's not mastered in a day. It's practiced every day. And even like if we do have teams, we can't ask our teams to grow in places where, we've stopped growing ourselves. And, we can't build trust on the outside faster than we're building trust on the inside. So that leadership is really an inside job to start.
So let's take a look at what we have lined up for the next few months. Is it time to go kind of through that, Christine?
Sure. Well, so the meeting structure is like, we'll have like a semi-agenda. I don't know if you guys can see it. I'm going to populate it again. So each month with our topic, we want to share a companion guide, something that you can just download. It's like 2-3 pages, just kind of highlights a little bit of what we talked about. And it's more, as we say, we want everyone to walk away and it's not just learning it, but applying it and really kind of reflecting on it. And in addition, we've also developed, because we believe everyone, whether you're a leader, individual, anyone, you should always have a personal development plan. And so Joe and I have created a personal development plan. We won't really talk about the topics in these meetings, but it's something that you can download. We find it very helpful. So Joe and I kind of put our heads together with some of the topics. And it's just something you can do on a quarterly basis. It's not meant to be homework. It's just meant to continue to lead yourself. Joe did this amazing PowerPoint, so he's going to kind of go into that. But our meeting structure is really, quick intros. There'll be one topic. As we continue to grow, we'll probably do some breakout rooms and have some reflection. Well, as the group is smaller here, we can kind of make it very interactive. We want this to be a place, that we're bringing topics that you find helpful. Joe and I kind of, articulated the first couple of months on some of more the foundational principles of leadership. And we welcome people's, everyone's insights, topics that are of interest. You can always reach out to us. We leave our contact information in the companion guide. And so yeah, the first couple of months, I think we've got the first 3, 4, maybe even up to 6 months planned out. Do you have that in front of you, Joe? If not, I do here.
Yep. Can we see that?
Yes.
So this does not preclude anybody from coming in and saying, this is what's going on with me right now. Can we work on this? And I would definitely absolutely want to spend time answering your questions. We want to be resources for you, for your real world stuff. It's hard for me to tell you about, I don't know, communication when the issue that you're dealing with right now might be trust, right? Or some other kind of level here. So this is just a basic framework for yeah, just basic framework for the next few months. So today it's about self-leadership, leading you first. As we elevate, so if you've ever read the 21 Irrefutable Laws of Leadership from John Maxwell, there's the law of the lid, right? So our leadership level is actually locking down our entire company. And as we can elevate ourselves, our entire company can move up with us. And we've seen people. I had this person in a networking meeting one time talking about how, he hires good people to try to solve problems that he couldn't solve at work, and those people keep leaving. I'm like, yeah, because you're hiring somebody good, but you're not a great leader, and nobody wants to work for somebody who's got a lower level of leadership than they are. So it's self-leadership first. We're going to talk about the 5 levels of leadership, which is a huge tool for people to really just focus in on exactly what they can be doing. I tell people to focus on level 2, 3, and 4. We're going to get into that next time. September is scheduled for communication and influence. So Christian, I would recommend for you, as wanting to get into more public speaking, a few good books. 2 of them by John Maxwell. One is called The 16 Laws of Communication, and that's an amazing book, especially for public speaking. The other one is called Everyone Communicates, Few Connect. I would say probably read that one first. It's actually even a shorter book. Everyone Communicates, Few Connect. If you want to actually connect with your audience, that's what the book is about. And another one for giving presentations is Talk Like TED. I don't remember who the author is on that, but it's a book from somebody who's analyzed TED Talks, and he gives you the best strategies, applied from some of the best TED Talks. So Talk Like TED is a great book. Anyway, that's September's communication and influence. October is building trust. So I can't not tell you good books to listen to on this or read on this. Um, Patrick Lencioni wrote a book called The 5 Dysfunctions of a Team, which was a pretty good book. A lot of people like
Love
that
that
book. Yeah, it's a very popular book. The problem is he didn't really give you too many strategies, so he had to come up with another book called Overcoming the 5 Dysfunctions of a Team. So that's, I would say, the better book, the more useful book is Overcoming the 5 Dysfunctions of a Team. If you build good strategies into your company culture, you won't have to worry about those 5 dysfunctions of a team. And I've been on teams where we've built standards into our just day-to-day practices. If this, then that. And we brought up one time the 5 dysfunctions of a team, and we went over them, and we're like, yeah, we don't have to worry about that. See this dysfunction here? This is how we handle it. And this one here, this is how we handle it. We preemptively solve the problem. So October is building trust. November, difficult conversations, right? So I'm going to say the top 3 value core values of good, effective leaders is number 1, humility, number 2, trustworthiness, and number 3 is courage. The reason why you need courage is because leadership is tough, and some of those conversations are the tough part of leadership. So November is going to be focused on having those tough conversations. And then December is right now scheduled for developing leadership and others, right? So good leaders create other leaders who can then multiply that to creating more good leaders. And so that's really our goal as leaders, is to be a kind of leader who can develop the leaders around us. So December is going to be focusing on that. And again, any of these months, any topic in leadership is a good topic to bring up. Any problem or challenge that anybody's having is great to bring up. This is just a framework for discussion. In the event that nobody shows up, Christine and I will be talking about these topics. You can watch them on YouTube afterwards. But if you do show up, you feel free to bring your questions and your challenges around any of these. But anytime, like if next month you want to talk about, building trust with your team, bring that up next month. It's okay. We will touch on those topics, and we'll make sure that everybody walks away with their challenge, with some kind of assistance in moving forward with their challenge. And of course, Christine and I are available if you want to reach out to us outside of meetings, that's fine too. Any questions on this, or can I take it down? All good? All right. Christine, back to you.
Okay, well, today's leadership topic is leading yourself when the business, needs more from you. as I mentioned earlier, we can't lead others further than we've led ourselves. And before we talk about leading teams or building trust, improving communication, or having those difficult conversations, or even developing others, we have to start with the person doing the leading. And our leadership is never separate from our business. It shows up in every decision we make. And the way you lead yourself really becomes the ceiling or the catalyst for everything that you really want to grow. So that's really our big idea for today. And 3 areas that we wanted to focus on were clarity, consistency, and capacity. So I'll talk a little bit about clarity. It's one of my favorite topics because, business owners and leaders don't just need more information. Most of us already have all the information. We more than what we even know what to do with. And what we need is that clarity and clarity around what matters most. Clarity around what we're building, around what only we can do, around what we need to stop tolerating, and clarity around where we are leading from reaction instead of intention. And a leader without that clarity really creates a lot of confusion, first internally and then externally. And, I've seen this in so many organizations that I work with and one-on-one clients. And when we're unclear, we overcommit, we avoid making decisions, we say yes when we should be saying no, and we chase too many priorities often. And going back to the clarity is like we communicate vaguely and we tolerate the things that are draining our energy and, and really our momentum. So it's, and eventually that lack of clarity really starts to show up in our business, the team, the client experience, and the culture, and, or even, our own well-being. Burnout is a real thing. And so the first, self-leadership question is like, where do I need more clarity in order to lead well right now? And that's usually a place where I start. And that might be around your role, your priorities, a decision you've been postponing, or around a standard that you need to set. So I look at clarity as just not a strategy issue. It's really a leadership issue. And the clearer the leader becomes, the clearer the path becomes for everyone else. So everything starts with clarity and knowing your purpose, knowing your priorities. And what I've found, and I would say, mostly with, high performers, we are just live in such a quick paced, no time to, even now we talk about AI and how we could leverage everything that we do. And we have social media, we've got everything always running our calendars. And it's even just to take that white space, like book that white space and like setting the intention for the day. What's most important? What are the priorities? And being clear on that instead of always just going to that next meeting, or, just always kind of filling up that white space. And I think the most important step is to take that pause and be intentional about what it is you want to work on, whether it be an area of growth, whether it be about something, planning your week, your month, or anything. So, Joe, would you have anything else to add to clarity before we move on to capacity?
Just real quick, I want to say that, for me, it comes down to purpose, and I break purpose down. I like the number 3, and I try to break things down into threes as much as possible. 3 things is easy to remember. 5, not so much. So when I look at purpose, I see 3 parts to it. Number 1, that some people miss, or that either people miss it or they hyper focus on it. And that is serving other people, right? Adding value to other people. And the way that some people miss it because they're so focused on self, right? I need to make money. I need to grow the company. I need to, pay my bills, right? So you're either in emergency mode, like I've got to dig myself out of a hole and survive, right? So I'm all self-focused, or we're being greedy. We're like, I want to drive that nice car, and I want to, have that nice vacation. I want to, do all this stuff, me, right? So, but we lose track of the fact that, your audience, short of you, your audience doesn't really care about you. Your audience cares about themselves. So if we care about everyone else, that's the sustainable type of leadership, right? So there's service to other people. Like, what am I really doing that's making the world a better place? But then there's 2 other parts to that. And one is, what am I really uniquely good at that's going to put me above the competition, right? So nobody wants to really deal with number three. They say if you're not number one or number two in the marketplace, then you're pretty much working your way out of business, right? And most businesses are going to fail in the first few years of business. So uh, a lot of the strategies that people are using out there they're really not long-term effective. So what are you uniquely good at that you can say, hey, you know what? I'm the best at this thing in my niche. I excel better than almost everybody else, right? And then the other part of it is, what am I really passionate about? Do I really love what I do? Does this stuff light me up? Is this part of the service that I'm providing something that energizes me, or do I just do this every day because it fits the other two. I'm good at it. It meets people's needs and it pays my bills. And that's why I do it. It's paying me money, right? So, but what can we do that really impassions us? And if you combine that passion with that skill set and it's serving others, now you've got a focus point for your purpose. There's, questions that we can lead you through to help you clarify that. But once you find your purpose aligns decision making because it's either going to be an opportunity to move further in the direction of that vision or it's a distraction from it. And there's always opportunities, and those opportunities aren't always in alignment with our purpose. And when they're not, it's a distraction. So clarifying that purpose is a filter through which you're going to filter everything that's in alignment is a yes. Everything that's a distraction is a no, right? So part of leadership isn't just saying yes, it's saying no. And you're going to be saying no to a lot of things that aren't moving you in the right direction. So that's where we need the clarity from. And like I said, I think it's those three pieces. I'm really good at it. I'm the best in that niche. I'm super passionate about it. I love what I do. I wake up every day excited to go to work and do this. And then number three, it's serving, adding value to my target market, to some client, somebody somewhere. So
I would just add on to that about purpose, and you're right. With someone, purpose is clarity, but it's like a lot of people have a struggle to figure out like really what their purpose is, and it's the best of what we have to help others. What are we naturally gifted with? What are the types of problems we love to solve? What are our acquired skills that we want to continue to leverage? And like really, what's our origin strength? Like, we've all overcome something. And that is part of our uniqueness. And I believe that when those things line up and you're clear about them, not only are you living in your purpose, but you have like fulfillment on demand because you are so aligned with what you're doing. So really, again, it starts with awareness, taking that time, having clarity around that. And, I think everyone, if we spent a little bit more time focusing on what we actually really want to do, what we're really good at, the problems we love to solve, it really kind of straightens that path to know what to go after.
anybody have any questions around their own clarity, or what would be one area, if I could just put this out to everybody, if you could pick something in your life, career, customer, business, whatever it is, what would be beneficial to you to get more clarity on? Like if you said, you know what, this whole clarity thing, let me spend a little bit of time journaling, thinking, talking, try, having a conversation with my AI bot, whatever, right? So,
Or using our monthly companion download, you can get some.
yeah, the monthly companion download is really it's set for self-inspection. Those questions that are in there, I would recommend it's in the chat. Download the companion and go through it. It's a couple of pages of reflection questions to think about. I like having a composition notebook and just journaling in the notebook. I'll use the questions as a guide for thinking and just let whatever's inside my head dump out on the paper. And then if you do that for a few days and read it again, you'll be like, wow, there's a theme here. Something's coming out of these papers. When I did a process on self-discovery, my purpose, it was so clarifying. I was like, oh my gosh, now everything makes so much sense. Why was I, focusing on this and why was I hesitant to do that? It's because this was in alignment with my purpose and this was a distraction. It really wasn't in the right direction. So download the guide, go through that. I would recommend journaling it. And does anybody have anything that you'd want to share right now? I know this is uh, it's, I want to say it's confidential, but it's going to be online. But if you could share, like, it's an open forum for self-discovery and honesty and transparency.
Oh,
And to
yeah.
take us into capacity. Oh,
No,
sorry. Go ahead, Christian.
Sure. All right. So my process has actually been around this little tool that I'll show you right now. I mean, you've probably seen different things on the market, but so this is my limitless AI pendant. Now, this has been discontinued. They don't even have these anymore. Now you can buy like Claude and other types of AI note-taking wearables. But what I do with this is when I'm feeling reflective, or facing a problem, I will turn all the other electronics off. I will turn this on, put it around my neck, grab a cup of coffee or an adult beverage of choice, and I will pace my apartment and I will just talk about what's going on, what's frustrating me, what decisions I'm trying to make, what's going on in the world, everything that's in my brain. And then I will take that markdown file and I will give it to my AI advisory board, which, depending on what it's talking about, whether it's sales or personal things, I have different AI boards for those things. And it will then unpack and help me put clarity and structure to what it is that's going on. And the most revealing thing for me was actually around clarity and alignment. I I like building new things. I like solving new problems. And so I suffer. This is what my AI told me. Christian, you suffer from shiny thing syndrome. If there's a new problem, a new tool, a new thing, a new AI, a new frontier model, you would just want to go and like figure out how to do that. And there is another framework by Patrick Lencioni, the Six Working Geniuses. And I know for sure that my frustrations are galvanizing and tenacity. I don't like trying to get rally the troops or make people do anything. I don't like coaching. I don't like doing that. That's why I don't want to be a boss of anyone except myself. And I also tend to sometimes leave things undone. So I need somebody that's going to, like actually finish up, wrap up, do the thing. I come in, you tell me what's going on. I see the opportunity. I set in motion the plan, the framework, build the tool. Okay, great. Now somebody finished dotting the I's and crossing the T's. I'm on to the next problem. And that was the thing that I persistently struggle with because there's always something new to build, always something fun to explore. But sometimes you just have to focus and finish one thing. And my AI was like helping me identify that. And that was around clarity and alignment.
Yeah, Christian,
I think,
I like that.
sorry, go ahead. What were you going to say, Anthony?
No, yeah, no, I agree with you in that, I have that shiny object syndrome, like, as well. And I have my guys, my exec team pull me back into reality periodically that, they're saying, well, it's another shiny object. Back off a second. Let's think this through. But I have these things call them library moments, and I'll take a day off, a half a day or something, and just do nothing except just think. And plain white sheet of paper, I'll jot down some ideas and things. And for the business, I'm the CEO, founder, visionary, right? So, and I'll come up with things and stuff like that, and then joke it over with the exec team. And sometimes, I mean, what I found in the past too, the more people against something, the more people that are telling you you're crazy, the more you're doing the right thing. So I tend
Can
to,
be. I mean, sometimes it's crazy, but sometimes it's,
yeah,
sometimes it's a big audacious goal. And some people have said if nobody tells you you're crazy, go back and make it a bigger goal.
exactly.
I
That's what I've
like
been
that.
running my life on. Just looking at, saying, why not? Not like, why is it? It's not that it's impossible. It's like, let's give it a shot. Let's try it. I mean, and especially in this day of age of AI changes. I mean, we used to have weekly meetings going over AI. It's not enough anymore. It has to be daily stand-ups. Things are changing so quickly.
Wow.
So, and things that we couldn't do last week, we suddenly can do. It's like, okay, all right, we can automate this now. Why? We have hooks into this now. Wow, okay. So just trying to keep up on all this. That's why I have a good team behind me that's helping out. And I do have bots. I mean, we have bots that meet in the morning, discuss things, and then hand it over to us. We also have bots helping us with making phone calls and analyzing, calls coming in from, tickets on this MSP division. It actually will define and, figure out who the best technician is. And, as far as also give us all the information on the client. So, we have everything at our fingertips now. So,
So it seems like
uh,
now more than ever, especially for you and your business, Anthony, that the clarity is critical.
mhm.
That the ability to focus, right? Especially with shiny object syndrome, there's so much right now to be distracted by. What could you do to be more clear in yourself for direction and vision, and how do you help your team to stay focused as well?
Yeah. Well, one of the things, like I said, I have these library moments where I just go and, library mornings, days, sometimes, sometimes at 3 in the morning, I have clarity and then, just quietly think about things and say, okay, this is, what we should be doing, direction. As far as what we have, world-class dashboards we created, which is basically keeps everybody on task with metrics. Everybody has metrics. We're a completely remote system. Company. Where all my guys work remote. We do have a beautiful office in Babylon. It's on the lake in Nargal Park. And any employee can go there as often as they want. But the thing is, because
I'm
of
here
the
every day.
remoteness, and she's there, Sam is there every day. I mean, I promised myself I was going to walk around that lake every lunch hour. I did it twice in like what 10 years. Um, yeah. So, but basically, we have because of the remoteness and so on, is that we need these team meetings and I call them TPA meetings, think plan action, and then GSD meetings to get stuff done. That we actually plan things out and we go through and figure out like where we're at, where we need to go, and then we have metrics to back it up. So every one of the employees has metrics to achieve. So they could work. I have some guys working late at night. Last night there was some some things that happened, and one of the employees just jumped in and took care of it. I'm getting like more than 110% out of everybody right now. I think it's because of the fact that allowing them to work remote. The work-life balance works really well. Um, but the thing is to be able to control that, and I needed the moments of clarity to figure out the best way for this team to work together as a team.
Yeah.
So yeah.
All right. Well, let's move forward to capacity, right? So once we understand where we're going, the next thing is to determine. And let me just see if I can share my screen here. Next is determine, what do I need to do to build that next level of capacity, right? So it's time, energy, emotional energy. And, the statement up here, the way you lead yourself becomes the ceiling or the catalyst for everything that you're trying to grow, right? So our own leadership capacity could be the bottleneck in our business growth, and it often is. Usually, and I have this saying, it's, we think it's a people problem, but it's really a leadership bottleneck. So it's opening up that leadership bottleneck, elevating our own leadership level to be able to allow leadership to flow through our through our team. So some questions to ask yourself is, um, do I have the emotional capacity? Like, what is the effect having on my emotional state? Am I getting upset, frustrated, irritated, annoyed? Am I being, am I overly, um, perseverating on, these issues? Do I feel like my world is closing in emotionally? What can I do to stay grounded under pressure? Like when everything's closing in, what am I doing? Like, am I taking that walk around the lake, or am I just sitting down at my desk trying to muscle through it when probably my brain would function better if I took a break, right? So, um, what is my decision-making capacity? And this is something that people don't really realize, and it's kind of crazy. We can measure people's decision-making ability over time, and as the day goes on, your decision-making ability drifts downward, right? Until lunchtime, if you take a break and you actually go out and eat lunch, then it jumps back up again, and then for the rest of the day, it's drifting downward again. So understanding how is my decision making process? Like what's actually going on inside of my brain? Am I fully engaged with the part of my brain that does problem solving and decision making? Believe it or not, that part of the brain is triggered by doing things that are fun and social and or exercising or things
Or,
that
or a nappuccino. If you have you heard of a nappuccino?
is that a nap with
Yeah.
a cappuccino
Yeah.
afterwards?
So NASA conducted studies, and there is a ideal nap time or window. It's like 26 minutes is the ideal power nap. So what you do is you chug a room temperature so you don't burn your tongue, a coffee of your choice, cappuccino, latte, black, doesn't matter. You drink the coffee very quickly, and then you black out everything in the room. You put on your headphones and you take a nap for 26 minutes. And the combination of that ideal time window plus the caffeine kicking in at around that 25-minute mark actually creates a very refreshing effect. And so I do a midday nappuccino, and that's how I reset myself so that the afternoon doesn't feel like that downward slope.
That's a great idea.
That's a great idea. I love that. I have no problem with the 26-minute nap. It's the idea that I'm going to have that Nespresso or cappuccino
Yeah.
before and
Yeah,
then turn out the lights.
just before,
Just
because it
before.
doesn't kick in right away. So it's not going to prevent you from taking a nap. And when you wake up from the nap, both things are kicking in. You just had a micro nap and the caffeine's kicking in. So it actually feels like a much more refreshing, longer break than what it was.
Christian, I just think you added another 4 to 5 hours of my productivity each day by doing
Okay.
that.
26-minute break. So
Yes, and that helps with decision fatigue, which is what you're
Yeah.
talking about, Joe.
it is decision fatigue. Yeah. So, and they'll measure this out with, they've done this with judges, and the judge is like, no, my decision making is, is perfect all day long. Like, no, in the morning you're making these decisions, and then right before lunch, you're sending everybody to jail, and
Mhm.
you're telling everybody default decision making. So, our own personal capacity for decision making, delegation, and a lot of people confuse delegation with really just like absconding responsibility, right? So, um, and people often will they fake delegate and then they take it back again because the person fails. When delegation takes work, right? It's not just, hey, do this. It's let me prepare you for this task that you can be excellent at it, and then let me give you the freedom to do it better than I could do it myself and trusting that person. And it takes effort, it takes work, it takes strategy. But do we have that capacity to delegate? And what kind of delegation capacity do we have? In other words, who can we delegate to, and what kind of responsibilities can we delegate to them? It's not just saying, hey, I don't want to do this anymore, you do it. It takes everything in leadership takes time, energy, and effort. You invest first, and it's like a leadership hump that you have to get over. But once you get over that hump, life gets easier after that. So be willing to, take that extra time to delegate, to prepare the people for delegating to them, um, because it will pay off in the end. I remember having a team one time that when I walked in there, people were like, listen, this is a problem. Nobody's ever been able to solve it. Don't try it. This is the workarounds that we do to work around it. Um, you just have to live with it. Nobody's ever fixed it. And I'm like, oh, that sounds like a challenge. So it took a lot of time, energy, and effort to overcome that hurdle. But afterwards, it was really amazing how much better everything was, right? So I remember thinking, like, how come nobody's calling us? Like what? Like we had a phone system, like we had a phone system. People would call in. Pretty much, they called in when there was problems, or when they were unhappy. But once we solved this problem, most people weren't unhappy anymore. So they stopped calling. So our office, so the whole chunk of staff that I had that raised, basically their job was to tell people, no, no, we can't help you. No, we can't. Like it was terrible. But all that went away, and then life just got easier. We had so much extra time on our hands, but it took an initial investment of probably 2 hours a day extra of dedicated focus to try to overcome that hurdle, and then it cleared up, and the payoff was amazing. So anyway, so where could you use more capacity? And Sam, I didn't get around to you beforehand. I know that well, I don't know. Do you have anybody that reports to you, Sam? Do you have employees that are
No,
under your
other
oversight?
than the bots that I that I manage. So they're not really people, but I do appreciate the insights of the clarity. I mean, my clarity is different than I guess like a leadership or management would be because I'm more focused on trends and I have to pivot, by the minute or hour or second for like what's happening in the industry and our different vertical targets and what's trending on their end and keeping up with that. So I feel like I'm in a fast pace and I to get clarity on that
Yeah.
is pretty difficult.
What about capacity, right? So we got clarity, then we have capacity.
Capacity, I feel like I want more capacity where I can get it because then that drives us to be, you know,
Hmm.
more FTAs, more prospects, more leads, more clients. So in my field, I feel like capacity is a good thing. So I want more of that.
How would you go about creating that? How can you? I mean, I know you use a lot of AI and the bots and stuff, but
Hmm.
how would you create more capacity?
By getting out there and marketing our company and selling the best that I can be. So I feel like that's the way to get more capacity.
All right,
Hmm.
that'll get me more volume, right? So more activity produces more volume, or smarter activity could produce more volume as well. But as far as your own capacity, your own ability to handle that capacity, because what you don't want to be is overwhelmed, right? And you don't want to crash emotionally. So evaluating your own personal capacity, your own
Well,
personal,
the 80/20 rule. So there's always like keeping you know, your like I do things outside of work that make me feel like I make sure I exercise every day. I make sure I have a steady routine every day to keep me organized and focused. I feel like organization is key for my role right now because if you're not organized, then you're missing leads, you're missing, things that can create volume. So,
that's awesome. Anthony, you got a
Hmm.
good person here.
Yeah. Oh no,
You
absolutely. That's
picked
why,
a good one.
sometimes Fridays we used to, when we were all in the office, we had, margaritas and everything, which Mary used to make them like also. But I guess that would be like a napgarita. All right, a margarita plus a nap. Afterwards.
Naparita.
You
All
give
right.
them a margarita, then you take a nap.
Yeah. But no, it's just basically she's Sam does a great job, and as far as increasing capacity all around, that's why we're looking at AI heavily, to be able to do more with less. And even my own time, I mean, I'm using AI, often. And we just signed up. We have a new platform that we've been using and been pushing out to our clients as well. That takes care of the shadow AI issues because I mean, we've been putting so much into AI now, and we've got to be very careful, like with any kind of you know, personal data or even like personal, like as far as even my own like or my wife's blood work and so on like that. You got to be very careful what you're putting into AI. You don't want that out there. So we've been educating our clients on that too. And we have this platform that is based in where it's SOC 1, SOC 2, HIPAA compliant. You put whatever you want in there. It doesn't go to a deep learning engine, but it gives you all the benefits of that. So, it gives us like I said, to help us increase capacity securely, right? Because that's where, the bots are helping us and with AI in general. So we're heavily utilizing it. And Sam is definitely doing that.
All right. Please, everybody, consider your own emotional capacity, your own decision-making capacity, right? So, yeah, we're going to expand that with AI, getting more volume. Like we want more volume of customers. But what we're talking about is my own ability to manage the flow of this, we want, when we say increased capacity, it was like, well, I want more customers, I want more business, I want more clients, I want more service, I want more, more of everything. But what is our, how do we help ourselves handle that, right? So I like how Sam talks about how she exercises every day.
Hmm.
Exercise is a huge emotional boost. It clarifies the brain, it removes stress hormones, it adds happy hormones. Um, some comedian was joking. He goes, your brain's a real jerk. It has all the happy chemicals in it, but it makes you work for it. Like it makes you go for a run. Hey, I want to be happy. Yeah, go run and earn it. Right. So exercising every day is a great way to relieve stress, clarify the mind. It gets more oxygen into your brain and helps you to think clear. It will increase your emotional capacity to do that, so you're not getting overwhelmed by stuff or have the decision-making fatigue. All right, let's keep
Yeah.
moving because it's 9/11. We don't want to. We're probably going to run out of time before we run out of good leadership content, but we want to get through
Well,
at least a little bit
I'll
more.
go through consistency. So we learned that clarity creates direction, capacity sustains growth, and clear consistency really builds trust. And kind of going back to Joe's point, even like, the idea isn't to do more, it's being able to handle more, being someone that can carry more. And, consistency is also built around self-trust. Like, how often are we abandoning ourselves? What kind of discipline are we exhibiting for ourselves? And even from a leadership perspective, people don't trust intensity, they trust consistency, and that includes trusting ourselves, right? If we consistently break trust with ourselves, it becomes harder to build trust with others. And, as I mentioned earlier, we can't lead others further than we've led ourselves. And that really starts with like honesty and clarity and emotional capacity. And the idea is not to be able to do more, but it's just to be able to carry more and be very much aligned with your purpose and clarity. And so the question, I know Joe has up, like, what must I practice repeatedly so people can trust my leadership? And that includes yourself. So if we think about that, and I think this is like really where self-leadership becomes very real. And that's why we kind of led with clarity, capacity, consistency. So when you think about that, you know, it's something, like with Sam, I do the same thing. I have my non-negotiables. I kind of take control of my morning before the world kind of takes hold of my schedule because I never know sometimes what's going to be coming in. And, it's those daily non-negotiables. How am I, renewing my mind? How am I setting my intention? How am I moving my body? All of those things. So, and that practice of consistency I'm keeping my promises to myself. Um,
I feel like keep, keeping a steady routine, like although we do work remotely, like getting up, going for your run, coming back, getting ready for work, doing my hair, doing my makeup, picking out my outfit. To me, like when you look good, you feel good, then everything else follows. So that's what I try to keep up with. So that way,
Hmm.
you know,
Yeah,
you
this is as
stay
good as it gets
consistent.
here.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. This is, I get up, this is it. But yeah, we have our executive meetings in the morning. It's funny because work-life balance is important. Matter of fact, all my guys have treadmills under their desk. Mine's sitting on the right here. Just to keep moving. Even on meetings, you'll see them going up and down. But it's important for to keep moving and active and so on, especially in this remote world. But even at the exec meetings in the morning, we have a scale 1 to 5, where we start out by like I don't have to know what kind of personal problems you're having at home. I just need to know how much time you're going to be able to actually put in the business today. If you're a 5, you're 100%. All right, you're 4, you're 80%. So, because sometimes you got a lot of things going on at home, and I just want to know, like, all right, you got some things happening. You're not going to be all in it today, and we can basically then the other execs can actually pick up the slack then. So we have that happening. So from mental balance and stuff like that, we're very keen on that. But getting out, that's why we're on the lake there, to be able to get out and walk around and exercise and clear the mind. Very important.
So one of the things that we always encounter, and that is, as we're presenting leadership content and material, there's always a tendency for people to be like, "Oh, I'm already doing that," and that's how the brain is wired. It's called confirmation bias. We always look for ways that we're good at that, right? So we're going to ask everybody to do right now is to think about, hey, what could, great, and listen, you guys are doing amazing, right? So like, Christian, the stuff that you've been through and where you're at right now is amazing. Anthony, the business that you've created and this model and everything, I'm super impressed by it. And Sam, I'm highly impressed by you. How old are you, Sam?
Ooh, tough question.
I'm 28.
28. All right, good. So listen, to be in your 20s and to have this stuff under your belt already is amazing. To be on Anthony's team and to glean from his years of, he's got a couple more years than 28, but those years of self-development, right? Anthony's somebody who's out there doing the self-development, reading the books, going through the processes, like, growing as a person. It's Christian, same as you, right? So Sam, you're gleaning from Anthony. I don't know how much your self-development type of stuff that you're doing, but what we're going to ask you to do is we want to think about, hey, what's my next level? What's the thing that's going to help me take one more step further than where I'm already at? So everybody's doing a lot of great stuff. What's one more thing that you could do to take it to the next level? Like, what's your next step from the stuff that we've talked about today, whether it be the clarity or capacity or consistency, right? Consistency builds trust, like Christine said. Trust is what our businesses are built on, right? The thing about psychological safety in the workplace that makes your team be inspired by your leadership and influenced by you is their ability to trust you. The number two leadership characteristic for good core values in leadership is trustworthiness. We know that productivity and trust are linear, like they go hand in hand with each other. So how do we build trust? And this is a tough thing because we all draw a line of where trustworthy is, and we're above that line. Every single person. I don't care. You could be a criminal, right? And everybody has a line that, like, well, I don't do this, and they're above that line. Um, so how can we be more trustworthy? Like, what could we do more consistently that our customers or our employees would look and say, okay, this is better. This is an elevation from what there was before.
Well, one of the things we did was we had these customer appreciation events where we'd invite all our clients down, our strategic partners, or our employees would be there, so our clients can actually meet the employees and stuff like that. And it's like a mixer, and that was went over very well. Sam, of course, organized all that. But be able to, and also team building exercises and so on like that. We did a lot more pre-COVID, and would like to build them back. We are doing some light stuff now, but we'd like to build it back up to what we were doing in order to have the trust within, as far as the employees to each other, and also from the employees to the clients and our strategic partners. That
Yeah.
they can know that they could depend on us if they refer us out. The same with us with them, and our clients know that they could trust my employees and everything like that because they're meeting them face to face, and having the personal contact was paramount.
Right. So pre-COVID, what was the cadence of these customer
Monthly.
appreciation meetings? Every month.
Oh, we would do a monthly team building. Okay. The customer appreciation be quarterly.
Okay. And what's the cadence of that right now?
Sam, it's like we've been trying to do them more often, like right now
More
since couple.
often, we haven't done team building in a while. I feel
Hmm.
other than like team building as like an activity, but we do meet and like chat we're always on a meeting every day. So, we kind of just talk to each other as if we're in the office.
Hmm.
Network appreciation, we just did one, I think 3 months ago or 4 months ago.
Yeah, we do
So
for another. Yeah.
we're due for another soon.
Hmm.
But I
So,
feel like that can go with the consistency. I mean, like to keep the consistency will make people feel good, and something to look forward to rather than, we'll put it on the back burner for now and, you know, hold off on it.
Hmm.
so can we get a commitment? Here's the coaching part.
Yeah.
Can we get a commitment for when you're going to have your next customer appreciation? Because it seems like it's about time, right?
Right.
Ideally pre-COVID, you were doing this quarterly. That's every 3 months. It's been 3 or 4 months since the last one. So it sounds like it's about time to start planning the next customer appreciation event. And then the team building events have sort of, you're using kind of and sort of to describe those. That doesn't sound deliberate. It sounds like,
Right.
you know, makeshift. So let's focus on the customer appreciation. When when would be the ideal next time to create this next customer appreciation event?
Well, the quarter's already over, so it'd be the starting quarter. I
So
feel like our last quarter flew by, so sometime in this quarter, maybe October. the ending
Yeah,
of the
probably
quarter.
good because the way the summer's everybody's away and stuff like that.
Yeah, it's hard to
So
get
yeah,
scheduling for.
but October probably be perfect month for that.
All right, so it's 3 more months from now. So October,
It takes us time to plan them too,
I know,
because
yeah, it takes time. Yeah, you can't just
yeah,
throw it
but
together next week and
yeah,
have people
Sam does
show
a
up.
great job with that, by the way. It's like I just have to show up and my pretty face and do my thing. But she helped organize one of the things we did was a murder mystery, death of a company after a ransomware attack. That was a lot of fun.
That sounds
Wow.
like so much
Yeah,
fun.
something
Yeah.
different.
And what about the team building?
The last thing we did was a Lego flower, I think, and that was several months ago. And then before that was an atrium we built, right? Each of us had our own. Mine's the only one I think survived.
Yeah,
So
Still alive.
my
when is
plant
the next
died.
time when is the next time that would be the ideal time to have the next team building event?
Maybe September.
Mhm.
It's just these summer months are hard because people are away, so we want everyone to be included.
Yeah, a lot of
Right.
vacations right now happening. Even Mary's at PTO right now this week. So
All right,
Anthony,
so look,
how many people do you have in your company and your team?
we have direct and with the consultants we're around 10.
Okay.
Because we have consultants that help with the software and stuff like that, and plus but we control 7,000. Like that's how I look at it. We're conductors in an orchestra because we have services that we can deploy a technician anywhere in the country within the hour if need be. It's like
Wow.
Uber Tech.
Mhm.
We also have 250 NOC Network Operations Center, engineers, and also Security Operations Center with 200 plus engineers that back up our services, right?
Mhm.
So, we just, pretty much, dictate that. And we have a bot that actually helps coordinate and actually interfaces with those teams. Um, that right now, if there's a issue and stuff like that, one of the servers, it opens a ticket with the NOC team and then responds back and handles it and closes the ticket out. So that's without any human, interaction there. So,
Amazing.
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 Okay, so we don't want to scare you away from coming back in August, but in August, when you come back to the next leadership meeting, um, tell us how it's going with the planning for the September team building meeting and the October customer appreciation meeting. And
Sam, put it on the calendar. Let's go. We're gonna
Yeah,
do
I
this.
actually just just did.
yeah, get them on the calendar, get them planning, set up your milestones for how you're gonna,
Yeah.
get that done. Who do you need to talk to? How do you get
Mhm.
that taken care of? And Christian, how about you? What is something that if you improved your consistency, that your trust factor with people that you work with, clients or whoever, public, they would say, wow, like we trust Christian more because we're seeing this consistency.
Yeah, I think for me, my biggest challenge has been distribution. And because I spend a lot of time thinking and building and tinkering and figuring out like what I could do, but that doesn't get me in front of the people that I actually can help, which is ironic. I spend a lot of time doing things that I think would be immensely helpful for people, but then nobody knows about it. And so, LinkedIn specifically, I've committed to every Monday through Friday, spending about a good half an hour just engaging with other people's posts in my industry, commenting, liking, reading through. I've got a newsletter that I just spun up probably 5 weeks ago. So yeah, tomorrow would be edition 6. And so every Wednesday, same time, 10:15, I put out a newsletter talking about like topics in decision intelligence. And so I'm just committing to those things and maintaining that consistency because I know that I am easily distracted and that I can go into build mode. So doing those things that are not in my normal wheelhouse, like I'm not a salesperson, I'm not an influencer. I don't like doing some of those things just to kind of maintain the back end engine running, but that's the only way that I'm going to even raise the awareness of my existence, which then can lead to conversations, which can lead to sales. Because if no one knows you exist, it doesn't matter that you have cured cancer or that you have the best thing
Right.
since sliced bread. No one knows about it. So that's
Right.
kind of the where consistency is the thing that I'm building in order to solve that problem for myself.
All right. So next time we see you, what will be the evidence that you're more consistent? Like, are you going to measure that out? Do you have a tracking system for
Yeah,
how
I
many?
do. I have a scorecard that I built as an artifact in Claude, and so every Friday I go back and I look at, okay, did I engage every single day this week? Did I send out direct messages? Did I have any demo calls? Like just tracking all the things, the behaviors, right? So rather than looking at the metrics, I'm tracking, did I do these things? Because it's real easy to put a number on the board and say, okay, did I hit that number? Well, maybe you surpassed it, maybe you just fell short, but did you make the effort towards it is sometimes more important than did you hit the number. So I'm tracking those behaviors on a weekly basis.
So I'm going to say over time, if you measure your input behaviors and you measure your output productivity, then it just becomes simple math, right? So you could fake your input numbers, but then your calculation of the output
Yeah.
is just thrown off, and your calculation just becomes more input.
Yeah. Well, then you get the wrong feedback, because if I lie and say that I connected with 100 people on LinkedIn and I got no results, well, then the feedback from that is your content sucks or your communication is just not up to par, and then you're going to solve the wrong problem, and it stems from the fact that you lied about how much you actually put into it. But if the reality is you only sent out 2 or 3 messages and you got no results, okay, well, it's not you, it's the fact that you just didn't put the volume, you didn't put the time in, you didn't actually do the thing that you committed to. So yeah, that's a problem in analytics in general.
Yeah, certainly lying about numbers is definitely not gonna not gonna work in your favor.
Yeah.
But having metrics that measure quantity and also measure quality, right? Because anybody can sacrifice one for the other, which is why we always recommend creating metrics around both so that you're trying to improve your quality and your productivity at the same time and not tanking one for the sake of the other.
Yeah. Well, that, and I have an agent that bullies me. So I particularly use ClickUp. I don't know if anybody else uses ClickUp, but ClickUp Brain 2.0 or Brain 2 is actually very, very impressive, because you can create super agents within it, and it has access to your notes, your tasks, like your Gmail and everything. And I just have a super agent that essentially, once a week is like, hey, you, hey, you didn't do this thing. Hey, what's up with this task? Hey, like, okay, got it. And that helps.
All right, good.
You've built in an accountability system that really is on top of you, Christian.
Yeah. Well, and then I have Kevin O'Leary, who sits on my board. So my board is made up of Dan Martell. It has Alex Hormozy, Cody Sanchez, Myron Golden, and then Kevin O'Leary. And so that board basically also keeps me in line, because Dan will talk about the systems and AI, and Alex talks about the metrics. And when I get to the end, Kevin always has the last word. And Kevin O'Leary always says, okay, what these guys are saying, that's great. That's all well and good. But let's talk about the numbers. If this isn't actually going to put money in your pocket this week, why are you wasting time on it? Okay, sometimes that's what I need to hear and be reminded of. So I have a very strategically selected AI board with personalities that help fill that gap, because I don't have an executive board, because I don't have employees. And so that is what I've been using.
So smart. I love that. I love that. Thanks for sharing that. Thank you all for your participation and everything. This was such an insightful sharing, and loved learning more about your businesses, your personally. And we look forward to this, and we'll continue to build on this, and we hope to see you guys next month. And Joe, anything before we close things out? I just want to thank everyone for taking the time to be here and just being so open and sharing. This is what makes the meeting so fruitful.
Well, I hope everybody got some value out of today. It's been a pleasure getting to know the three of you better. And please download the companion, the resource guide that Christine put together, and go through that. There's good quality reflection questions in there to help elevate, right? And if you just keep thinking about, the first response that our brain always wants to give is, I'm already doing this. But if you keep doing what you keep doing, if you keep doing what you've been doing, you'll stay where you are. So if you keep thinking about, hey, what can I do? I do this pretty well, but how do I get one step better? You know, so how do I get one step more clear, one step more consistent? How do I elevate my leadership one step at a time? If you keep making one step improvements, that compounds over time. Even a 1% improvement week over week, which seems like it's nothing. Most people do not make a 1% week over week improvement. But if you consistently make a 1% week over week improvement, it compounds to 68% year over year. So think about your $100,000 last year, 168,000 this year. Like it's a big chunk. Um, any business would love to grow 68% year over year. And it's really just simple little steps made on a daily basis. So anyway, all right. We appreciate you guys. Thank you for your time. It's 9:31. We kept you a minute late. So we'll see you the second Tuesday of August, and bring your
Dive into
friends.
the five levels of leadership. Yes, and invite people if you found this helpful, and we'll continue to grow this community.
Thank you, guys.
Yes.
Yep.
Christine, thank you
See
so
you
much
guys
for your
next.
leadership on all this. Appreciate
Thank
it.
you.
Thank you for all your
Bye.
leadership on this as well. All right.
Thank
See
you.
everybody next
Thank you,
month.
everyone. Have a great
Thanks.
day.
You too.
Yeah.
Hello, my name is Melina Picon. I'm a founding member at America's Virtual Chamber of Commerce and Industry. We would like you to join us today. I'm also president of PowerBooks LLC. We provide outsourced accounting, bookkeeping, controller services of businesses of all size. We help them transition from struggling in-house messy bookkeeping to high-level financial department. By outsourcing with us, our clients save up to 40% on their accounting costs, which allows them to focus on generating revenue. We guarantee honest, balanced, timely, and efficient financial services. If you would like to talk us on the phone, you can call us at 845 208 4649. And if you would like to email me, my email address is melina at powerbooks-llc.com. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Arthur Germain. I'm the principal and chief brand teller at Brand Telling. We're a brand architecture firm, and I'm a proud AVCCI member. So, brand telling gives growing B2B companies the one clear story your whole team can tell. So, you, as the founder, aren't the only one who can explain what your company does. What does this sound like? I call it narrative drift. It starts off, it's all in your head. You know the story. You built the brand, you know all about it. But now, every sales call has a different story, and prospects start to notice. Or your marketing spend is up, but your firm never really seems different. Maybe you're expanding and your founder story isn't the same as when you started. All of these things are parts of what I call narrative drift. I help companies by exploring with them what makes them different and unique. I call it the category of one. What gives them that category of one, and then how do they express that category? So, for example, I've worked with technology companies that often sound very similar to others in the industry, and I've helped them to really look at where do they serve, whether it's through a geography or whether it's through a specific industry, and what do they do? Why do clients come to them in the first place? I explore that, and then we install it. I call it installing a story operating system. What we do is we look to write down all of the messages, all of the narrative about the company stories, so that it's in one place. Think of it like having a brand Bible where everybody can turn to find out all things about you. And that way you're not having to make things up or trying to jump around trying to build new messages when you build something like a presentation for sales or you're updating and refreshing the website. Why is this necessary? Here's a good example. Lots of companies will go through a merger acquisition. Maybe it's just two friendly companies that merge together. Now they're offering some new products or new services. And you're not quite sure which one leads. It used to be just your company before the other one. Now, how does that brand story sound? What you want to do is you want to sound unified, and you want to make it sound like you're doing this for your customers' benefit. So I help companies to do that. I guide them through the process of discovering their category of one, installing that story operating system, and then I stick around and I help them to maintain through brand guidance. That's what I love to do. My background is in brand storytelling, starting in publishing 20 years ago, moving through public relations and marketing, where I discovered what people really wanted was to learn the story. They wanted to know the behind the scenes, what's going on at the company. That's what made them different. That's what made them unique. And that's what made them good partners, good customers, good employees and employers. So I work with companies to discover that. Again, my name is Arthur Germain, and you can find me at Brand Telling. That's brandtelling.com. Thanks very much.
Hi, I'm Tony Lucidi. I am the CEO and owner of Lucidi Technical Solutions, and I'm also a founding member of the AVCCI Tech, AI, and Cybersecurity for Business Committee. My company is basically a small consulting firm where I offer fractional CIO work. I help companies with their digital transformations into predominantly how to utilize the existing software they already have to help make improvements to their costs, make improvements to their processes, and really try to get them to utilize more efficiently the software they already have. Most small businesses, medium businesses, they don't have tech teams. They don't have a CIO. They may have an MSP or a vendor that can help them, but generally speaking, they don't have someone on staff that helps them with their technical decisions who has the experience that I have. I have over 35 years experience in technologies. Started with application development, website, mobile. Then I reached out into marketing. Then I branched out into business strategy, and now I own my own company. I'm going to really highly recommend that you all join the Tech, AI, Cybersecurity, and Business Committee, because technology covers a multitude of industries. It's across the board. You can never go wrong by joining a technology committee that will help you basically determine and help you navigate the difficult natures of technologies. If you just look at AI in general, how many of you are trying to get AI implemented? What do you do? How do you do it? This is where this committee will come into play. I think it's a great committee, and I look forward to you joining us and becoming a member of AVCCI.
I'm Mel Blackwell, the president of Blackwell Media Group, and I'm a proud member of the AVCCI. Joined recently, and very, very supportive and excited about that. As president of Blackwell Media Group, basically, I'm a retired corporate fixer. For 35 years, I've worked in global companies, domestic U.S. companies, to help boards and C-level teams try to figure out how to solve complex business riddles. In doing that, I actually decided to hang up my cleats because 35 years is a long time. I deployed behind enemy lines. I did not go in as a consultant. I took a full-time role because I loved working with the teams. I loved building the teams, and I liked the smell of napalm, And so I worked in those different stints for 2 to 6 years, and in kind of graduating from that world now, I do keynote speaking at major conferences, at annual retreats for corporate teams, and kind of a hybrid of coming in to speak to a large crowd or even a small room, and then rolling up my sleeves and coaching and helping a team solve a specific complex riddle. In doing all of that, what I realized, I wrote a book called Uncommon Sense: How to Fix Your Workplace Culture in the Wild West of Business. In doing all that, I realized reflecting back for about a year, I wrote the book that I've been working on for 20 years. And when I finally said, all right, I'm going to write this thing, I realized almost everything I did was culture. And so I am somewhat of a culture architect. I've had a reputation of being very plain spoken. What you see is what you get, funny. I like to have fun, but pretty serious. And I can do some really complex, brutal stuff, whatever it takes to protect the culture and the good people. And so that's what I do now. I do the speaking and I work with people. Don't even be embarrassed. It's like, Mel, we have this really complex riddle we're beriddled by it. I'll come in, roll up my sleeves, and we'll slay that thing. So that's what I do, and I'm looking forward to it. And I highly recommend everybody support Kevin and the AVCCI.
Hello, my name is Kristen Panella of Too Safe Consulting. I'm a founding member of AVCCI, and I chair the Workplace Health, Safety, and Risk Committee, where we're looking to do presentations on education and provide tools that will help you have a safe environment within your workplace. At Too Safe Consulting, safety is more than compliance. It's about protecting people, supporting operations, and building a culture that actually works in the real world. I founded Too Safe with one goal in mind: to provide companies with practical, high-level environmental health and safety support that makes a real impact. We work across many industries, including manufacturing, utilities, aerospace, construction, energy, pharmaceuticals, from OSHA compliance to hazardous waste manifests to safety training, audits, investigations, full EH&S program management. Our team becomes an extension of your operation. What makes us different is that we don't just hand over a binder and walk away. We stay involved, solve problems, train your people, and help create long-term results. Whether your company needs a complete safety program or support on a single project, Too Safe is ready to help wherever the work takes us. Let's build something safer together. Thank you. Looking forward to hearing from you.
Hi, I'm Stacy Simbrom. I am a member of the AVCCI. I am also one of the leads of the Women in Business Committee and the Health and Wellness Committee. I run a company called Reflection Project. I am a coach. I am an integrative wellness coach. And what that means is I work with individuals who want to optimize their lives, do better with their wellness, do better in their relationships, and feel better about themselves and the world that they live in. I take an integrated approach, which helps you to learn how to leverage your 3 centers of intelligence, which is your brain, your logic, your emotions, and your body, which is your intuition. I bring several different modalities into this work. I've been doing this work for about 15 years now, and I would look forward to working with you and collaborating with you in this space. If this sounds like something that you would like to learn more about, please contact me either by phone or by email. Thank you very much, and I look forward to meeting with you soon. Bye-bye.
Hi, I'm Anthony Buonaspina, CEO and founder of LI Tech Advisors. We're located in Babylon Village, Long Island, and we've been in business for over 35 years. We're an MSP specializing in AI automation and business intelligence, and we're very excited to be leading the Long Island chapter and as a founding member of America's Virtual Chamber of Commerce and Industry. That's AVCCI. We're very happy to be a member here, and also we're looking forward to doing a lot of great things with this organization. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Timothy Reiter. I'm a CPA and tax director at MGO LLP. I'm also a proud member of America's Virtual Chamber of Commerce and Industry, AVCCI for short, and I'm very happy to be at the beginning stages of this movement, which I know is going to be a great success in the future. At MGO LLP, we perform auditing and accounting services, tax services, and consulting services. We serve public companies, private companies, high net worth individuals, and governmental agencies. We serve many different industries, some of them being entertainment, sports, and media, technology, manufacturing, distribution, real estate. At MGO, I'm a generalist in the tax area, which means I get involved in many different things: C corporations, partnerships, S corporations, high net worth individuals. But in the tax space, we also have specialists that get involved in research and development credits and other credits as well as other incentives, state and local tax, international tax controversy. And our accounting and auditing department is always looking to make your company financially healthy or even more financially healthy than it is now, and give any advice that they can, and perform audits. And on the consulting side, we get involved in cybersecurity, fraud and litigation risk, and merger and acquisition on the sell side. Again, I'm always looking to save and defer taxes for my clients in any way that I can. And if it's an area that I don't deal with, that our firm handles, that I can always refer you to someone else if I can't handle it personally. But please feel free to reach out to me. The website is mgocpa.com if you want to learn more. And thank you so much for your time.
Hi, my name is Mike Catherwood, one of the founding members of America's Virtual Chamber of Commerce and Industry, AVCCI. I'm also the chair of the International Trade, Wholesale, Distribution, and Logistics Committee. During our committee meetings, we'll be sharing important content that will help companies in those industries achieve their growth goals. Aside from AVCCI, I work for Allianz Trade, the largest provider of trade credit in the world. Trade credit helps businesses in all industries feel comfortable with who they're extending credit to, eliminating the worry of, is someone going to pay? If your business is offering credit terms or considering doing so, please contact me to learn more. Thanks.
Hi, I'm Naeem Sayed. I'm the founding member of America's Virtual Chamber of Commerce and Industry. I highly recommend you join it, especially it's virtual and you get access and connection to everyone across the country that you actually connect with and make a meaningful relation. On personal side, I am a consulting partner for ERA Group, where we partner with CEOs and CFOs of middle market companies in helping them improve profitability. We do that by taking a look at all of their overhead costs and areas where they really don't have either the time or the bandwidth or the resources to take a look at. And that's where we come in. We do that in a contingency model, which means no savings, no fees. So if you have clients struggling to improve profitability, we are their answer. I look forward to seeing you at America's Virtual Industry.
Support for the American Business Podcast comes from Wizen. At the American Business Podcast, we always talk about continuous improvement and professional development. That is why we partner with Wizen, trust the nation's largest network for tutoring. Wizen helps you find the tutor that you need in many different subjects: chemistry, computer, foreign languages, geometry, English, music, physics, reading, SAT, science, and many more. I have the QR code on the screen that you can sign up and start searching for tutors and enjoy the learning experience and continuous improvement, as we always talk about in the American Business Podcast. Scan the QR code and sign up for Wizen today. Thank you very much.
Hello, I'm Nerio Rivera, and I'm a founding member at America's Virtual Chamber of Commerce and Industry. Please join us today and let us help you grow your business. So I'm also the Senior Client Manager at IMSM. There we help support your current and upcoming ISO certifications through training and a variety of other services. So if you have any questions regarding ISO, the process, or how to maintain it, please send me an email.
Support for the American Business Podcast comes from Just Answer. Real help from real experts 24/7. Experts such as lawyers, doctors, veterinarians, computer technicians, home improvement experts, mechanics, personal tax experts, computer technicians, and many other experts are available for you 24/7 on Just Answer. You'll get your answers anytime, during the day, during the night, 24/7, and you'll get your answers from reliable sources. You can scan the QR code on the screen and you can sign up for Just Answer. The answers you need at a price that is right. Scan the QR code and sign up for Just Answer today. Thank you for your support.
I'm David Faverio. I'm a founding member of America's Virtual Chamber of Commerce and Industry, other known as AVCCI. I am the chair of the Sustainability Committee. We look to educate people and businesses on how to be more sustainable and how to introduce sustainability into their business to be more efficient in their operations. I'm also the president of Pupfish Sustainability Solutions. Pupfish's data destruction methods are AAA NAID certified through iSigma, which certifies our adherence to the highest security and ethical standards in the data destruction industry. We operate on a zero landfill policy, which means nothing winds up in the landfill. Everything's 100% repurposed or recycled back into the U.S. manufacturing stream. And Pupfish received our certified B Corporation status in 2021, and we are proud to be a force for the local and global good.
Hello, I'm Kimberly Mitchell, founding member of America's Virtual Chamber of Commerce and Industry. Visit us at www.avcci.us and become a member today. I'm also the owner of Emerald City Ventures. I work with Gen X women who find themselves in a pattern of stopping and starting and starting and stopping. And we reunite you with that version of yourself that you've been trying to reach for years. And she's in there. We're going to bring her out. So visit us at www.kimm.co or email me at theowner@emeraldcityventures.net.
Hi, it's Neil Abruzzi, and I'm here to talk to you today about America's Virtual Chamber of Commerce and Industry. I am proud to be the head of the Technology for Business Committee, where through the Commerce we intend to bring usable technology information to the membership, something not far-reaching, but something that you can use in your business, hopefully that very day. I'm 35 years running EDI Options. We're here a company for making connections between retailers and vendors. We provide connectivity services, integration services, data handling services, and all kinds of different commerce consulting. So come on and join us at the America's Virtual Chamber of Commerce. You're going to love it here, and I look forward to working with you going forward.
Hi, everyone. I am Joe Horowitz. I'm the Director of Compliance and Audit for Stetson Cyber Group. I am proud to be a member of the America's Virtual Chamber of Commerce and Industry, better known as the AVCCI. Stetson Cyber Group is a data privacy and protection firm specializing in cybersecurity risk management and network information security. What does that mean? We are your business partners. We come help you find all your risks related to cybersecurity by doing risk assessments, gap analysis. We do penetration testing, vulnerability scans. We also help you out by protecting your cybersecurity environment by doing employee trainings. We recommend all the right internal controls to put in place, and we do vCISO services. So My background has been in audit, risk, and compliance for 25 years. So we also get you prepared for all the compliances out there, whether it be federal or New York State, as far as like HIPAA, PCI, or if you're in New York State Department of Financial Services, we get you SOC 2 Type 2 compliant, ISO compliant, and CMMC for anyone who has to work with the federal government. Once again, a very proud member of the AVCCI, and look forward to seeing other chamber members in the future.
Hi, I'm Jolie Leidner, and I'm a founding member of America's Virtual Chamber of Commerce and Industry. And I'm also the co-chair of the Human Resources and Workforce Development Committee. And we at that committee will guide you with everything educational for HR and recruiting, as I own Jobs by Jolie, a staffing company. And we're here for all your staffing needs, where we staff every industry with a personal touch, and we do temporary, permanent, and temp to perm staffing. And we do it across the country. So I could be reached at 516-521-7602 or Jolie at jobsbyjolie.com. Hope to hear from you. Thanks.
Hi, I'm Steve Turner and excited to be a part of the American Virtual Chamber of Commerce, AVCCI. I am the owner and operator of Solomon Turner Public Relations in St. Louis, author of the book PR That Works, and a national speaker. We solve the problems of helping companies build their brand through PR strategies in this crazy era of AI. Solomon Turner helps business owners better connect with their customers and communities that they serve for the long term, and we help sales and marketing with long-term growth by using these PR strategies. We have clients nationwide. We've worked with a lot of people you would know, such as celebrities as Tony Robbins, Brian Tracy, Steve Forbes, and many corporations like Northwestern Mutual. So I invite you to reach out. Love to talk to you, meet you, and have a conversation. And feel free to email or call at the numbers provided. Thank you so much.
Hello, my name is Melina Picon. I'm a founding member at America's Virtual Chamber of Commerce and Industry. We would like you to join us today. I am also president of PowerBooks LLC. We provide outsourced accounting, bookkeeping, controller services of businesses of all size. We help them transition from struggling in-house messy bookkeeping to high-level financial department. By outsourcing with us, our clients save up to 40% on their accounting costs, which allows them to focus on generating revenue. We guarantee honest, balanced, timely, and efficient financial services. If you would like to talk us on the phone, you can call us at 845-208-4649. And if you would like to email me, my email address is melina@powerbooks-llc.com. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. My name is Bill Miller. I am a relatively older author, founder, CEO of my own company, and I am a member of AVCCI. I joined this year. I've been on the podcast, the ABC podcast, AVP podcast, and I really enjoy this particular group. So I'm the author of 2 books, The Rookie CEO, You Can't Make This Stuff Up, and What Every CEO Must Know, 37 Secrets to Lead with Confidence and Power. I founded my own company, which is consulting now. I added publishing to it in 2011. It's Beeline Bill Enterprise. That's on beelinebill.com, and that website is being updated. This week it should be updated. And last year co-founded a company called Zaboom with 3 O's, LLC, Zaboom LLC, where we do voice AI mostly outbound calling. We do some inbound. So those are the things that I'm actively involved in. I have 5.5 decades in technology, the last 3.5 decades as an executive leader. I have had a seat at the table. I worked for many rookie CEOs or first time CEOs, another way to say rookie, at various phases of their role. And that's what drove the creation of my first book, Living in the Trenches, being a number two executive in a company and knowing how decisions are made, knowing good decisions, bad decisions, decisions that could have gone either way. Think about your life. Every major decision in your life is a fork in the road. If you go this way, you take that job. If you go that way, you take another job. And that sets you up for whatever is next. And so our life is really built around the decisions we make and how they come out. So I've written about a lot of these experiences. The second book, I have actually firsthand stories from many CEOs in there. Some of them are CEO stories that I tell as the number two man or somebody on the executive team. Because you see, over the years, you see patterns of things that CEOs tend to do, especially first timers. First timers go in, they have a business function that they came from typically, unless they're a super young founder when they're very early. And they, especially these days with AI, there's a lot of founders that have never been in a corporate company, corporate America, where they've learned all of the things that you go through to work your way up the chain. So typically, though, the first time CEOs, all the ones I've worked with, they come from a business function. It could be engineering, could be sales, could be marketing, could be finance, and they have expertise that got them to where they were to be positioned for the CEO role. In one way or another, they either got promoted or they got hired into that role. When you get in there, you don't know what motivates all the other teams unless you have worked with somebody who's a coach or an advisor, board of directors, whoever it is that becomes your right hand right out of the chute. You really don't know what you don't know. And so my second book, and a lot of my speaking now and my writing, is about blind spots. And so I'll be releasing kind of a new offer very shortly that'll be on the new website, which is you'll be able to do a free CEO assessment to identify the top blind spots, the top things that you need help with. You get a free assessment. You can get an assessment brief report from me. All of that is for free. And then if you want to go into an intensive, what I call a blind spot intensive, then you can work with me for a modest fee. But there's a lot of experience there. I help people work around challenges that they just can't see around the corner. And a lot of times, again, like I said, you don't know all the different business functions. You know the one you come from the best. You might have opinions that you're a good marketer or a good salesperson, and maybe you are because you've learned from good people that have worked with you over the years. But to put it all together and be that person at the top, and your boss is the board of directors, or outside people, outside investors or shareholders, it gets to be a little bit more difficult when it's your decision. And who do you go to? Who do you talk to? What kind of advice are you going to get? Is it going to be filtered or unfiltered? Who do you trust? Who can you trust? All of those things, I try to help you build muscle to handle all of those specific situations. And again, my books are to help first-time CEOs, founders, and stuck CEOs kind of move forward, see what other people have done, see how it's worked out. Think about my second book, The 37 Secrets to Lead with Confidence and Power, what every CEO must know there. It's real stories. They're the biggest mistakes CEOs have made, how they could have avoided it, how they recovered from it, and how they moved forward. And you'll see in that book, if you read it, and I do recommend it, it's a great read, with 37 Secrets to Help You. The thing is that other people made these mistakes. You can see how they got there and the decision they made, why they made it, and what the results of that were in their particular company. And more than half of the CEOs that I write about in that book, these are their stories directly from them that they gave to me with rights to print it, use their name, the company that they were at. Several other CEOs gave me the rights to their story, but would not identify themselves by name and company because they're still there. And so they're surviving. Everybody makes mistakes. Everybody has blind spots. You should shorten your cycle to better leadership, making better decisions, especially under pressure, and especially when you don't know what you don't know. So those are the things that kind of make me tick these days. Again, think about what I do. I have Beeline Bill Enterprises, which is my kind of like I call it a consulting firm. It used to be Beeline Bill Consulting, and then I changed it. But I have my publishing firm there, my consulting firm, and everything else that I do personally. I have my 2 books. I'm a co-founder of Zaboom, again with 3 O's, Zaboom LLC, which is a voice AI startup, about 7 or 8 months old now. And we have our first customers working on product market fit. We have some pretty satisfied return customers. It's a month-to-month SaaS type situation with voice AI. So my partner and I, as my life partner and business partner, we stay focused on using AI in business and all of the different types of methodologies. I have a blog on TMCnet, ceoinsights.tmcnet.com, which is the company called TMC, which is Technology Marketing Corporation. The CEO is Rich Durrani, president is Dave Rodriguez. I've been involved with them for years. I moderate a CEO Insights panel at IT Expo for the last 6 years in Fort Lauderdale, Florida, and build a panel of 3 to 4 CEOs, and we just have a topic, whatever that topic is in the track we're on. So I do that. All of the recordings of those panels are on my YouTube channel, which if you do searches for Beeline Bill, which is my brand, BeeLineBill, same as my website. If you do searches for Beeline Bill, you'll find pretty much all of my, a lot of my things. There's videos for also the CEO success stories that's sponsored by the Cloud Voice Alliance. I'm sort of a content advisor there, and I interview CEOs in the telecom space and related because I've been involved in that market for many, many years. And voice AI is kind of part of that because voice is coming back as a big thing these days. There's nothing like a good old telephone call, and now voice AI is considered an automated call by the FCC and TCPA, Telecommunications Consumer Protection Act. And when you think about all of the things that I do in a semi-retired mode, I'm kind of busier now than I was when I was working full time, which I left technology in 2020. That's when I wrote my first book in 2020. The second book was published the end of 25. I stay active. It's one of the reasons that I joined the AVCCI and their book club. We featured me in the first inaugural of that particular podcast, and my book is listed on the AVCCI book club website. So kind of that's me in a nutshell. I live in Maplewood, Minnesota, which is part of St. Paul. I come from the Boston area, so I'm a hardcore Boston and New England sports fan. I was born and bred in that area, went to school in Needham, Mass, and then Northeastern. I've lived in many states besides Massachusetts, California, Southern California, Northern California. I've lived in Huntsville, Alabama when I worked for Digium. I lived in I've lived in Minnesota now twice. This is my second time, and we're here because of a grandbaby that's a half an hour away. And so I stay pretty active online, and this is a great group to be part of.
Hey everyone, my name is Brent Gary, and I'm proud to be a founder member of the AVCCI, America's Virtual Chamber of Commerce and Industry. I'm inviting you to join our new movement at avcci.us. In addition, I'm a fractional CMO at Gary Consulting, where I work with business owners who are past the startup stage and fully into scaling, but they need your marketing to go from guesswork to growing. Thank you. Have a great day.
Hi, I'm Francis Borges, consulting partner with Era Group. I'm proud to be a founding member of AVCCI, America's Virtual Chamber of Commerce and Industry. And I'm honored to serve as co-chair of the Manufacturing and Healthcare Committee. With 25 years of finance transformation and business consulting experience, working with Fortune 100 and 500 companies across manufacturing, healthcare, financial services, and other industries, I've had the privilege of driving hundreds of millions of dollars in annual savings in some of the world's largest organizations. But now I've deliberately pivoted to bring that same caliber of expertise to where I believe it's needed most, the mid-market. With Era Group, I partner with founders, CEOs, and CFOs of mid-sized businesses that face what most are dealing with right now: margin pressure, rising costs, supply chain disruptions, and an increasingly competitive landscape. We help them find hidden EBITDA in their overheads and vendor spend, unlocking savings that go straight to the bottom line to fund growth, improve cash flow, boost valuation, and protect the margins that keep them competitive. Well, the top three things that clients love most about us: we bring that deep category expertise and the resources that the mid-market simply doesn't have access to. We do the heavy lifting, working as a seamless extension of their team to secure real savings. And we do all of this completely risk-free. No upfront budget. We are rewarded only when we put money back in your pocket. Bring back to AVCCI. It's a powerful virtual community where business leaders can connect, collaborate, and grow their businesses together. Well, we are just getting started, and that's exactly why you want to be here right now. Come join us, be part of our great journey. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Christian Torres. I am one of the new founding members of the American Virtual Chamber of Commerce and Industry. Now, what does that actually mean? Well, we're putting together some committees that are shaped specifically to help business owners just like you. And I'm proud to be the new co-chair of the Business Strategy and Innovation Committee, which means every month we're going to be working together to bring you the educational content, the insights, the learnings, and the resources to help you figure out what's next, what's on the horizon. There are so many shifts in the marketplace right now and disruptions going on every single day. My background is actually in decision intelligence, which means that I help companies make high stakes decisions using data, AI, and decision-making frameworks. And I do that all through my company, Stark Analytics. So I am really, really excited to bring that expertise and knowledge to the Committee for Business Strategy and Innovation and help business owners just like you
get the tactical advantage that they need to succeed.
Thank you for being with me in the American Business Podcast. If you'd like to be a guest in the American Business Podcast, please send us an email, guestbooking@americanpodcast.tv. If you'd like to sponsor ABP, if you'd like to advertise in our podcast episodes, please send us an email, growyourbusiness@americanpodcast.tv. You can advertise your company, your products, your services, and your brands in the American Business Podcast. Please send us an email, growyourbusiness@americanpodcast.tv. You can also visit our website, americanpodcast.tv, to learn more about the American Business Podcast as well as our coming streaming schedule. Now you can have your branded company podcast within the American Business Podcast network. We call it Business Podcasting as a Service, PaaS. If you're interested in starting your business podcast in the American Business Podcast network, please send us an email, paas@americanpodcast.tv. As part of our international expansion, we started international podcast editions. When you scan this QR code, it'll take you to our YouTube page. And please go to the podcast section in our YouTube page and you'll see our international podcast editions. They are ABP Espanol, ABP German, ABP French, ABP Hindi, ABP Portuguese, and ABP Turk, that you can listen to American Business Podcast in 6 different foreign languages. Okay, well, we are in the process of increasing our presence in social media. If you're on LinkedIn, please scan this QR code and subscribe, follow us on LinkedIn. If you're on TikTok, please scan this QR code. It'll take you to our TikTok page. Please subscribe. Please follow us. If you are on Instagram, please scan this QR code. It'll take you to our Instagram page and please subscribe. If you are on Facebook, we'll also appreciate your help and support. Please scan this QR code. It'll take you to our Facebook page and please follow us. And finally, we are on IMDb, next to other reputable media productions. Please scan this QR code, go to our IMDb page, and please rate us on IMDb. We'll truly appreciate your help and support. I'd like to thank you for your help. Thank you for your support. I'm looking forward to seeing you in coming the American Business Podcast episodes. The American Business Podcast is the voice of American business. The American Business Podcast, America's fastest growing educational business podcast network in this age of AI. Thank you very much for your help and looking forward to seeing you. Thank you.